Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our press conference with Team USA's Lindsey Vonn. Just a few updates. We will continue our press conferences tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock with Nordic Combined here at the main press center, and we'll follow up at 10 o'clock with Michaela Schifrin. Sunday's press conference will be at 2 o'clock. This is the first one for free ski. This will be slopestyle skiing with Gus Kenworthy, Nick Gepper, and Devin Logan. Thanks for being here today. It's my pleasure to introduce our Alpine press officer, Megan Herod, who will conduct today's press conference with Lindsey Vonn.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming. Just a few housekeeping notes. This is going to be a 30-minute press conference, no one-on-ones, no interviews after. Ask that you would please respect that. And I've been waiting for this one all week, so I'm really excited to announce, to introduce Lindsey Vonn, Olympic champion who needs no introduction. Lindsey, as you know, she calls Vail, Colorado her home, but she's a Minnesota gal at heart. And she is a four-time Olympian. Lindsey, I just want you to talk a little bit about, you have, I think the whole name of the games this year is redemption for you. You missed 2014 Sochi. We've talked about how hard that was for you, sitting at home and watching. You also did very well at the test event last year. You were second to Sofia Goggia of Italy by 11 hundredths combined. But this past weekend, she was second. 2 weekends ago, she was second to you in Garmisch by 13 hundredths combined between the two races. So you got her in the hundreds game. How are you feeling going into the games this year?
Yeah, I obviously have been waiting a very long time for these Olympics. I've had a lot of ups and downs since Vancouver, but I feel like I'm coming into these Olympics on a hot streak. I am skiing exceptionally well. I have a lot of confidence. I definitely didn't start the season off well, but I knew my main focus this year was solely on the Olympics, and so I progressed my way through the season with that in mind. And I'm very happy with how I feel physically, mentally, and on skis. So last weekend was just really the icing on the cake, exactly what I needed to build my confidence and be ready for these Olympics.
Great. One more quick question, and then I'm going to open it up to the media. Last weekend also was a bittersweet weekend in that your teammate, Jackie Wiles, she crashed, and it was season ending for her. You have been an incredible mentor to her. Jackie's personally told me how you've spent time watching video and helping her dial in her equipment issues, and all of your teammates are in awe of how good of a teammate you are and the fact that you have 81 World Cup victories. Can you speak a little bit to how bittersweet that was for you?
Yeah, I think it was really hard for our entire team. A lot of the girls were still in the starting gate, and they knew that Jackie had crashed. And when they got to the finish, they were crying. We were all very distraught by the news. Jackie has been someone that I've really enjoyed skiing with and being a teammate with. I supported her personally to help her get on the ski team, and she's also ambassador to my foundation. So we were pretty torn up that she wasn't able to be here, but I think we got her some of the uniforming. I think that'll make her happy, and she'll be staying at my house when she has surgery in a few days. So she'll be taken care of, and she'll be back stronger than ever. So we're just pulling for a good recovery for her.
Thanks, Linz. Okay, I'm going to open it up to the media. Just a quick note, once you get the microphone, can you please state your name and the publication that you come from so we know who you are and where you're from? Max, because I saw you first.
Lindsey, this is Max Milgenhaupt from the German press agency DPA. You're wearing gloves. Why? What's the reason?
I just don't want to get sick. Kind of in the high traffic zones, like the media center. I don't know which of you are sick, so I'm just being safe. I wore them on the plane over here as well. I did that in Vancouver. I wore a mask, so I figured for the press conference a mask probably wasn't appropriate. But just trying to stay healthy.
Right here up in front.
Hi, Lindsey. Steve Futterman from CBS News. I spoke with David Wolochinsky, Olympic historian, the other day about who he predicts is going to win the women's downhill. He says that's the one event he will never predict because it's so hard to guess. It's one run going for everything. Can you talk about the difference, because you've been at the top and you've also had some tough downhills like everyone has. What makes this event so special? What is the difference between success and failure?
Hundredths are the difference, and that's a very small margin when you consider all of the preparation we put in, all of the equipment and technique. When it comes down to it, hundredths are very small margin. But I think downhill is actually more predictable than Super G. I think Super G is it's a different beast because you only have one inspection, you have no training runs, and anything can happen. I think in general, in all alpine disciplines, you see a lot of people win the Olympics that have never won a World Cup or a World Championships because all of the top athletes have so much pressure, and because ski racing is an outdoor sport, there are so many variables. You could get a gust of wind, or the light could change and snow could come in, anything is possible. So you do see a lot of people that have never had success in the World Cup all of a sudden come in and get medals at the Olympics. So I think that for all of the events, anything can happen, not just downhill. But I personally think downhill is the best because we go the fastest.
Right here with the black vest.
Stephanie Goss with NBC News. It's been 8 years, Lindsey. How have you changed as an athlete? Oh, and also, was there ever a moment when you thought, I might not get off this tarmac?
There was definitely a question there. I wasn't quite sure for a while. They said that was the last plane that would be able to take off. And I thought for a while there I might be watching my last Olympic opening ceremonies from TV. But as an athlete, I've changed in a lot of ways. I think number one, in just how I prepare physically, with all of my injuries. Even though I'm healthy now, they still affect everything I do. When I warm up in the morning, I need to warm up my knee first for 15 minutes, and then I have to bike, and I have to stretch, and I have to, do all of these extra steps that I didn't have to do before. So in 2010, I was a much healthier athlete, but in 2018, I'm a much stronger athlete, not just physically, but mostly mentally. I've overcome a lot, and I know what I'm capable of, and I think I know how to handle myself better than I did previously.
Right here.
Hi, Lindsey. Michael Eaves, ESPN,
Hi.
friend of his.
Wayne,
Thinking back to
I'm sorry for you.
It works sometimes. Thinking back to your first Olympic experience, everything in between, including the injuries that caused you to miss the last one, how has your perspective on the games changed through the years?
I don't think it's changed that much. I've always been in awe of the Olympics, especially in 2002, my first Olympics. I was 17. Right after 9/11, it was such an unbelievable experience to be able to walk into the stadium opening ceremonies with basically America cheering for you. And also the stands, when we came down the races for the combined, there was 40,000 people. And I was just in awe. And I don't think that awe and respect has ever changed. I always feel privileged to be able to compete in the Olympics. And I think just as in 2002, I was soaking in every moment because it was my first time and I couldn't believe that I was there and I'd worked my whole life for that moment. I'm still in that same position right now. This is probably my last Olympics. I'm soaking in every moment. I'm in awe of being able to represent my country. And so my perspective hasn't changed.
Yep, right here.
Hi Lindsey, Hans Ruggenberg from Dutch media Telegraaf. Lots of athletes don't go to the opening ceremony. Can you explain why it's so special to you?
Actually, the only opening ceremonies I've been to is in 2002. Normally, there's always a conflict because the speed events are first. And as with, the boys right now, they're doing speed first, and I think they have their downhill training run tomorrow. So, normally I wouldn't be able to go. But because of the schedule and because it's my last Olympics, it's very important to me to attend. And I'm going to try to just get as much of the Olympic experience in these next 2 weeks that's possible.
Right here.
Hi, Graham Bell, BBC. It's the first Olympic Games that the men's and women's downhills are held on the same course. You ski on men's skis. Will that be an advantage, and will you gain information from the likes of Svindal, Jansrud, your teammates on head?
Yeah, it definitely is an advantage. Normally my technician will talk to the other technicians as well on the head team to try to get information on wax and what's running and what's not running. I think for me, it's going to be more important to talk to athletes like Axel and Jansrud and see if there are differences in perspective online, or how the snow felt, or what they thought were critical sections. Oftentimes, the men have a different perspective than the women, and so I always enjoy talking to them and seeing what they think. So I'm definitely going to do that, and I have no doubt that whether the men run first or not, my skis will be fast, and I'm sure it'll be good.
Shettil and Axel are your life coaches, aren't they?
They're my life coaches.
Next
It's an inside joke. It's okay.
Next question, right here.
Josh Peter, USA Today. I wonder if you can tell us a little bit about Lucy, why you're traveling with her, who watches her when you're on the hill.
She's right there. She's usually in the hotel room whenever I'm racing. She enjoys sleeping a majority of the day. I always have her with me. I got her, a year and a half ago. It's extremely lonely on the road, and since I got divorced, I had a lot of free time on my hands at night, and being in a hotel room is oftentimes it's just extremely difficult. So I got Lucy. She travels with me everywhere. I was questioning whether I was going to bring her here because it was a long trip, but she's always with me, so I figured I need her for the most important event.
Right up there.
Hi, Tommy from Norwegian TV. When you say Axel and Kjetil is your life coaches, then I get curious. Why is that? And in what way?
I'm not sure. I ask them advice a lot. I train with them oftentimes in the summer in Chile. I ask them about guys and what I should do. I'm actually Norwegian, of Norwegian descent, from Laudal. And so, I don't know. I feel like I'm a kind of pseudo team member of the Norwegian team. But those two have just always been, they've always been friends. They've always been very respectful to me. And of course, my goal to compete with the men, they've supported me in everything that I've done and everything that I hope to do. So, yeah, hopefully they can find me a guy now. Just kidding.
Right here.
But maybe.
Hi, Lindsay. Coy Wire, CNN. Given the emotions you've expressed about wishing that your grandfather could be with you here to South Korea on this journey, now that you're actually here, how is his memory resonating with you?
It's really hard. I wish you hadn't said it, because it's really hard for me not to cry. I want so badly to do well for him, and I miss him so much. He's been such a big part of my life, and I really had hoped that he would be alive to see me, but I know he's watching, and I know that he's going to help me, and I'm going to win for him.
Next Next question, Peggy. One moment.
My gloves do not help me with this situation.
I need some tissues up here. Peggy, do you want to ask the question? Right up here.
Hi, Peggy Shim with TeamUSA.org. It's an easier question. As you say, you want to soak in a lot of the Olympic experience. So two parts. Are you staying in the Olympic Village? And what other events are you hoping to go see?
Unfortunately, our venues are too far away. They're over an hour away. So when I'm competing, I will be over right next to the speed venue. We have, our whole team has accommodations over there. Thanks.
I knew that credential would come in handy.
Sorry. And we're actually training also like another hour away from here in the week leading up to the speed event. So I wish I was staying in the village, but unfortunately, it's just not. It's not efficient. So and what else was? I'm going to be doing the downhill Super G. What do you want to go see? Oh, I don't have time to see events. I mean, I want to. I think it's going to depend. I think after the combined on the 23rd, hopefully there'll still be something on the 24th and the 25th. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. Sorry, I'm a little flustered now.
Let's right over here.
Lucy's getting her picture taken.
Lucy's often a big star.
She's definitely a bigger star than me.
She's a hard act to follow. Rachel Bachman, Wall Street Journal, right here.
Oh, hi.
Can you estimate about how much time of your career you've spent rehabbing from injury? And is there any silver lining to being to that rehab? I mean, time off, dryland training, things like that?
I mean, I spent most of 2013 rehabbing, most of 2014 rehabbing, part of 2015 rehabbing, part of 2016 rehabbing. It's probably like a total of 3 years, give or take. But I went the majority of my career without injuries. It just has been in these last few years that have really dinged me up. But I think the silver lining for me has been starting my foundation. That allowed me to have the time to be able to create that and to give back to the next generation and hopefully empower more girls to follow their dreams and achieve great things. So that's been really the only thing. Not a lot of great things that come out of rehab.
Right here.
Nancy Arbor, USA Today Sports. You mentioned that at the Olympics, a lot of times it's not the favorites who win because of the emotions and the pressure. How do you manage that? And is it easier or harder thinking that it is probably going to be your last games?
It's harder in some ways, definitely, that it's my last Olympics because I want to end on a high note. I really want to put an exclamation point on my career. It took me until my third Olympics to really figure out how to deal with the pressure. I think most of the time, especially in my second Olympics in Torino, I put more pressure on myself than anyone put on me. And of course, things with the media and social media have changed dramatically since Torino, but even since Vancouver. So I think that adds an extra element of pressure as well. But actually, for me, I feel really good because it's not really about me or my career. It's about my grandfather. And I'm just going to lay it all out there. I'm going to give it everything I have, and whatever happens will happen. I'm not going to be nervous. I know he's looking out for me, and I think that actually gives me a lot of peace of mind. And it's given me a lot of peace of mind actually this whole season, especially in Garmisch because, our girls were crashing and it definitely made me very nervous, but I knew that everything happens for a reason, and I have someone looking out for me, so I wasn't as worried as I could have been.
Wayne, right here.
Wayne Drace from ESPN. Lindsey, I'm curious what events you will do here this week and what your impressions are of the track.
I'm going to do the downhill, Super G, and combined. I've decided not to do the giant slalom because my knee is just not really in a place to do that. I would love to, but unfortunately I just don't think I can contend for a medal. So there's really no point. But I love the track here. I really enjoyed skiing it last year in the test events. The downhill is really well suited for me. Long sweeping turns, some nice tactical sections. We have a turn going into a jump, which is actually pretty rare. We don't see that very often. Some nice terrain pieces, and generally all the jumps are very big. So I think it's a great course, and just now depends on weather and snow conditions, and we'll see. But the men said it's awesome. So
I have a quick question before I open it up for one or two more questions from the audience. Lindsey, we saw a picture from processing at the Nest of you in your opening ceremonies outfit. And of course you looked like perfectly suited for it. How is that? What do you think about the outfit for opening ceremonies? And is Lucy gonna walk too?
I don't know. I think she might freeze out there. She's pretty small, but I would love for her to do that. But the opening ceremonies outfit was really cool. I mean, it's heated, so I think that's going to come in handy when it's minus 20 outside. Another reason why it's difficult to march in the opening ceremonies is because most of the time it's very cold, and for athletes to be standing outside for hours at a time is not exactly performance enhancing. But yeah, I love the outfits. I think we're all going to look very American, and I'm excited.
So Lucy doesn't have a sweater, but she does have a little Team USA collar. So next question, right here.
Barry Sverluga from the Washington Post. Lindsey, you mentioned the last Olympics, but what are your plans beyond this World Cup-wise, and how big a number is 86, and will that factor into your decision?
I definitely am going to ski another season. After this Olympics, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to miss the next few World Cups, and I will meet everyone in Sweden for the finals. I'm in contention for the downhill title. And yeah, I'm going to continue skiing until I get to 86. I think next year I can get beyond that. And as long as my knee is holding up and I'm still able to win, then I will keep skiing. But it just really depends on my knee. That's the determining factor in my retirement.
Right up there. Yeah.
Edwin Peek, NOS Sports Netherlands. Lindsey, you seem to have some connection with Sofia Gotcha. It was last year at the World Championships. Good to see in the finish area. Last week in Garmisch. What is it that you two have?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We've both been injured many times. We have a great deal of respect for each other. And I don't know, I always enjoy being on the podium with her. And I think she enjoys being on the podium with me. So we push each other. You know, I know that she's always going to give 110% when she's racing. She's crazy, like me, which is also why I understand her. And so whenever she's in the lead, I know that she's put down an amazing run, and it pushes me to ski faster. So I enjoy the little relationship, the rivalry that we have. And I enjoy just being on the podium with her. She's a great person, a great character. She works extremely hard, and I think it's great for us to have someone like her on the World Cup.
One more question, and we'll go right here.
Hi, Jason Gay with the Wall Street Journal. You mentioned at the top your happiness with your preparation, both physically and mentally. And can you elaborate on the mental side of this? Because I imagine, over the course of your career, that side of it has changed
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's difficult to stay focused on the moment and on the task at hand, which is for the last, few months has been the World Cup. My entire summer has been focused on the Olympics. It's what I think about first thing when I wake up, and it's what I think about when I go to sleep. So I think the experience that I have allows me to be able to put that aside when I'm in the starting gate and focus on the race and the task at hand. But at the same time, when I get to the finish, like for example in Garmisch, I was thinking, yes, I made it down and I'm healthy and I'm going to the Olympics, So everything really is revolved around that. Other than that, I mean, I think the mental strength really comes into play when I'm in the starting gate. It's when you don't let the nerves get to you, when you can stay calm, when the pressure is at its peak. Those are the moments when you really have to believe in yourself and you have to trust your ability. And I do, and I've done it before, and I know I can do it again.
On that note, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And Lindsey, we look forward to you doing something special at this Games. Picture with us. No? Why? She's okay with timing. Okay.